Okay, hi everybody. My name is Xavier Rosset. I come from Switzerland, a ski resort in Verbier. And since I was a kid, I never liked school. What I wanted to do was traveling and just seeing if what they were saying on the television was right. I'm the little boy there on the right side. And in 1998, I had my first dream. I wanted to ride the Extreme Verbier, which is the biggest freeride competition in the world. And I wanted to make this dream true. In 2001, I joined the 16, a bit too loud, huh? I joined the 16 best snowboarders in the world on this extreme competition. I did ride it for 6 years. I finished second in 2005. And in 2007, I wanted to quit the world of professional snowboarding, but I wanted to keep traveling. And I said, what do I know? I know the cold, I know the mountains, I'm a very social guy. Then what's the opposite? Maybe warm, maybe an island, maybe alone. Then this idea became to spend 300 days on an island only with a Swiss Army knife and a machete. And what I wanted to do first was come back to the nature, first of all. Secondly, it was also a challenge of surviving an adaptation, and also a search, also a little bit of myself. I wanted also to have a little bit time for reflection on our real motivation and on our system. Now, I had the idea. It took me 14 months of preparation out of my work time to realize it. And I wanted also to realize a documentary about this trip, to share this adventure. I wanted to make people dreaming. I wanted also to pass a message, a reflection maybe on our real motivation and on who we are. And the 2nd of September 2008, I was in a plane direction the archipelago of the Tonga, which is 400 kilometers east of Fiji. I have to go very quick because it's 18 minutes. We arrived on the island, was middle of the afternoon. This island, just to let you know, it's an active volcano island, approximately 9.5 kilometers long, 8 kilometers large, 500 meters high. 60% covered of rain tropical forest. There is a water of fresh, lake of fresh water in the middle, and but there were no sandy beach. There were absolutely no coral reef, and actually it was exactly the opposite of the idea of the island I had at the beginning. And after 30 minutes, the ball goes away. Since this moment, I look around me and I realize that I'm alone. And for a pretty long time, 300 days. I knew also that since now, whatever happened, I could count only on myself because I was alone. What I did at the beginning, my priority was to survive until the next day. That's it. Then I knew that without drinking and without eating, especially drinking, after 72 hours, you can start having problems. Then I start collecting some coconuts around my camp, and the first coconut, it took me 40 minutes to open until I could drink and eat. After 4 months, it took me 30 seconds, 40 seconds maximum, but I had to learn. And this one was my first victory because I could eat and drink first day. And the night arrived quite fast. The first thing I have to do is find a place also to sleep. I've learned very quickly that it's very dangerous to sleep under a coconut tree. Then I find another place, and I find some coconut leaves. And I did use these coconut leaves to make me a bed. And I had a pretty good night. Temperature was 25 degrees. I was sleeping very good, very short night. And I wake up just before the sunrise. And that's the sunrise I saw the first day. And sunrise like this, I saw approximately 300 of them alone on my island. The next morning, I decided to look around to find maybe some food and to find some things around. And I was walking approximately 2 hours on the east side of the island. And when I came back, at the point I thought it was my camp, it was not possible to find my camp anymore. And the place where I put my stuff. I was completely lost in this island, alone, middle of nowhere, 22,000 kilometers from home. I decided to go down to the reef, because from the reef you can see much farther, and maybe I could find the access to my camp again. I did find it. That was a very good point for me. But here, I didn't know anything about the island. I didn't take so much information. And on this island, it was maybe the sound. Just 1 second. Sound doesn't work. Sound works. Thank you very much. In this island there was no internet, was no radio, no music, but also no cars, no pollution, no neighbors, no human, only me and the island. And this, since the beginning of my trip, I was feeling very, very humble about this. I have to go fast. Then what about the food I found there? I took some information, a little bit about the food before leaving, because it was very important. But still, coconuts is a very good laxative. I've learned that very, very quick. And then I start to have diarrhea. And when you have diarrhea, you lose more water than what you drink. And that could be a problem. Then I had to find another way, another kind of food. I found some giant snails in the ocean. I find also some crabs when I managed to catch them. And during these 10 months, depends of the season, I was finding some mango, some oranges, and some lemon. And the Tongan who bring me there to the island, he gave me one thing. He gave me 50 meters of fishing rope, fishing nylon, and he gave me 20 hooks. And he told me that without this, I'm gonna die of starving before I could find my own food. And he gave me also another thing. That's the fishing line. And he gave me also another thing. He gave me a lighter. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that these two things just saved my trip. That's it. I have no problem to say it. Without this, for sure, I would have come back. Then I start fishing. I become not too bad in fishing, but it was not so fun. But another thing, I could not sleep outside for 10 months on my coconut sleeve just there. Rain season will come very, very soon, like 1 month after. I had to build a shelter. Then first of all, I had to find a safe place to build my shelter. Secondly, I wanted to see the ocean from my shelter. Just when I was waking up in the morning, I could look outside and directly see the ocean. I'm from the mountains. I don't know island and ocean, and I really wanted to see it. After that, I had to find and prepare all the material. And my first try was not waterproof at all. That's the second try, but my first try was not waterproof at all. But whatever, I had a house, and I had somewhere to hide from the rain. Not still a little bit wet, but still. And that's my second try. It took me 3 weeks to do it, waving a coconut leaf, but this one was waterproof. And since I had a good shelter, I could keep going on with my expedition. And there is also another thing I wanted to do. My target was to stop the time, at least my perception of the time. Then I decided to dig a hole and to put my watch. This is a high luxury Swiss watch. I didn't find anything better than to hide it, dig a hole and to put it in a hole. And since now I wanted to live in the rhythm of the nature, not in the rhythm in the system we know here. And since this time, my time, I will read my time with the sun, with the moon, with what else with the rain season, and yeah, I mean with the nature, just with the nature. And since now, for me, nothing exists anymore. The only thing which is important is surviving. That's what I thought at the beginning, because just 10 days after my arrival, only 10 days after my arrival, my motivation went down. I started crying, and I was asking myself, but Xavier, what are you doing? Why are you doing these things so hard? I mean, your family is your family, your friends. They're all there. You have a fridge in your house. You have everything in your place. Why? And separation was quite difficult. Normally, I'm a very social guy, and before I left, was so many people in the chalet in my house, just telling me, good luck, go for it. You're the one. You're gonna manage it. And there, I was alone. Whoa. I realized that I take conscience that I was not so strong as I thought, and it's going to be a big psychological work on myself, and also a work about acceptation. And even with my motivation down, I had to finish my shelter, the shelter you saw before. And just before I finished to do my shelters, I was sitting there looking the ocean, waving my roof, and I saw this. This is a sailing boat, and they were from Norway. They came on the island. I make big signs. The first time they didn't see me. They came back after half an hour and they saw me. They came on the island and we spent approximately a few hours together, and they left again. That's the thing. 3 men, 1 girl, and 1 little baby, 18 months old. For me, it was absolutely incredible because I had someone to talk to. And this Norwegian, they left very quick, same day, because they were in a hurry. They had to leave the same day. They had to be 1 week after, I don't know, in one place. For me, hurry up, I didn't know what it means anymore. I had no time. And even with these visitors, I was really ready to give up, because it was so hard. It was just too hard. After 75 days, I decided not to do the 300 days. I was making marks on my shelter, but it was just so long, so long, and this it was so hard. Then I decided not to do 300 days, but 150 days, and because too much thinking were going to my family, to my relatives, and with this I could not be free. I could not feel free. I could not just do what I wanted. And as soon as I took the decision to do only 150 days, I was feeling much better. I did already 75 days. I was at the half. And since then, I could see 150 days brings me to end of January. Then I had to go on for still 75 days. And I find a new way of motivation. Could be strange, a new way of motivation in sleeping. Because when I was sleeping in the night, I was dreaming about my family, my relatives, and my friends. And sometimes I wished that it was the opposite. That when I was open my eyes, I would have been with all my family. And when I closed my eyes dreaming, I would be in Tofua on my island alone. But that was not the case. Then I start sleeping longer and longer and longer to stay with them. But there is also another thing I realized is that loneliness, being alone, maybe not loneliness, but being alone gives you the best freedom in the world. My only limits were the limits of my imagination. One speaker were talking about that before, and it's very, very interesting. But everything has its opposite. And sometimes alone on my island, that's pictures I took for myself because you have to time sometimes is long. I was asking myself if I was really real, if I was really existing, or if I was getting completely crazy or dumb. And Christmas arrived, 24th of December. I knew the date approximately with the marks I did on my tree. And I had a satellite phone in case of emergency, big problem. And this time I took it to call my family, to go home. This moment was quite hard for me because they were all there. They were all there, all sitting in the table and having a Christmas lunch. And for me, it was the first Christmas ever I spent without my family. I'm a big boy, 33 years old, but I'm very near my family. And this year I was alone. But this phone was hard, but gave me so much energy. And I keep going on for 30 days. 30 days later, end of January. Yes, I did it. I wanted to do 150 days. I did it. But in the other way, it was not a real victory because I say to myself now, I realize that I get used to this lifestyle and I can accept it a little bit more. My relatives are still missing me, but I can manage a little bit more my emotion now. Work on yourself. And I also wanted to do what I said I was going to do. Not to give up. We are all the same. You, me, the first. We are proud in yourself. If you say something, you really want to manage to do it. Then I say, okay, I keep going on for 50 more days until end of March, because I really want to go to this expedition. But end of March, whatever happens, I go, I leave. It's going to be 200 days. Enough. I have to leave, because otherwise I will get crazy. One thing also I want to talk about is that I'm gonna go crazy with my shelters on the background, and I want to talk about the water. On my island, I was using between 3 and 5 liters of fresh water, collecting from the rain in some coconuts down. In Switzerland, when you go to the toilet, from 10 liters, 10 liters. When you have a shower, it's 60 liters. When you have a bath, 200 liters. I washed myself in 10 months 3 times with fresh water. Otherwise, I was going swimming in the ocean, and that works pretty well. And now I have another approach of the value of the water and another definition of drinkable water. I realized that water is the base of the life. Like one of the speakers said that before also. It's more precious than gold, than diamond, and we really have to take care of it, not to use it just for anything like this. And with all these things brings me to end of March. Have to go quick, I'm sorry, there is so many things who happen between, and end of March, I did already 200 days. And I wanted to quit for sure, but I get ready in my mind and I say that I did the 2/3 of my trip, of my challenge, personal challenge, not for the others, just for me. And now it will be done to quit. Then I start to do many activities. I start to do a lot of expedition also. I was making my camp more comfortable. I built even a bench to be able to sit on my bench, looking the ocean, not sitting on the floor anymore. And now I feel confident because I can see the end. I can really see the end, not half day, not 2/3. I can really see the end. And this gives me a good motivation, and I keep going on. For the end, the plan was that my best friend, Gaël, was coming to pick me up and stay with me approximately for 2 weeks. I didn't know the week approximately with my marks on my tree, but I didn't know the day. Then for 6 days, I was spending all my time sitting on these rocks, looking the east, waiting for the boat with my friend. I really wanted that he comes because I was really feeling the end. And when he arrived, it was so much emotion. As soon as he jumped down on the boat, I run and I literally jump in his arms because for me, it was the end of my loneliness. And that means that I managed to do the challenge. Yes, I did it. I lost 18 kilos, but I did it. And it was not physically the most hard. It was just in your head. And Gaël stayed with me approximately 20 days on the island. The target was to socialize me a little bit again, because alone for a long time, you know, and to bring me home. Since then, it was very nice because I could talk to someone. And one of the first things he told me is, wow, you missed the world crisis, economical crisis, something like this. And after 10 months on my island, I didn't even know what that means. And that made me laughing a little bit. After the leaving, 25th of January of this year, the boat came back to pick us up, Gaël and I. And the day of the start, when I was looking at my island, being father and father for me, I was feeling a bit sad because that was my home for 10 months. And I get used to it. At the beginning it was so hard, but after that was my home. And I just say big bye-bye with my hand. I turn again, looking in the front of the boat, looking to my future. And I know that one adventure finished, but another one is going to start. A few days later, the first adventure is just my way back to Geneva. That was incredible. More than 50 people, relatives and friends, they were there making big noise, and it was a lot of emotion to talk to all of them. They came for me, and I was very like this, because they came. And going home, my house in the mountains. And I realized that I left 10 months out of this system, and maybe now I see our world with another eye. And definitively I come back in a system who didn't change at all in 10 months. Maybe 10 months is not long, but it didn't change. When I was looking in Geneva, Lausanne, everywhere, time is counted for us all the time. We're running always and all the time. Maybe we don't realize that money is not a target, but it's just a way to do what we want. And sometimes I know that we can buy a house with money, no problem. You can have a big house, many rooms, swimming pool, whatever you want. But with money you cannot buy a family, and you cannot buy happiness. And sometimes I ask myself if we give enough importance to the real human value. People say me very often since I am back, Xavier, you're so lucky because you did this, you could do this. I don't agree. It's not a question of luck. I don't think luck really exists, but we can provoke the luck. It doesn't come like this. And me, in my life, I want that my life is an adventure, everyday adventure. It's possible for all of us. It's just a question of perception. Just a question of perception. What I've learned with this trip is that we always have to go in the front, always trust in what we're doing, keep positive, and the most important, do our best all the time. And the last thing I've learned there, I knew it a little bit before, but it became really true, is that in the life, we don't have to dream our life, but we just have to live our dreams. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think about this, but personally, I think that the only thing who can make a dream impossible is just the fear of failed. I think it's pretty simple. Thank you very much, and goodbye.